Hey Pro-Life Texans, want to give you an update on a legal development that happened yesterday, a big victory for the Texas Heartbeat Act. Want to fill you in on that. My name is Dr. John Seago. I serve as the Legislative Director for Texas Right to Life. We're the largest and oldest pro-life organization in the state, and we are celebrating a court order from yesterday in favor of the Texas Heartbeat Act. Now you remember that last year, Texas kind of created news and kind of made a big step forward for the pro-life movement in passing the Texas Heartbeat Act and succeeding where other states have not been able to succeed by adopting a unique law, unique Heartbeat Act that bans almost all abortions after 6 weeks. This was a huge victory thanks to Senator Hughes and Representative Click and several others who worked to get this bill to the governor's desk to be signed into law. So this was a huge victory last year. And since that law went into effect, we've seen over 22 legal attacks on this policy. I've worked in the pro-life movement for 14 years, and I've never seen such a concentrated effort, such a concentrated attack on one pro-life policy. It really shows you how this is changing the game. This is really breaking all the rules of what we expect out of these kind of policies and legal battles. But the Texas Heartbeat Act has been winning in all 22 of these cases, and not a single case has been able to stop the Texas Heartbeat Act from saving lives. And every single day we see around 100 lives are being saved from abortion in Texas because of the Texas Heartbeat Act. Now, yesterday, we saw that the Fifth Circuit Court in New Orleans ordered a lower court to dismiss almost the entirety of this case, Whole Women's Health versus Jackson. Now, this was the very first lawsuit filed against the Texas Heartbeat Act, and it was the lawsuit that was brought by the abortion providers, Whole Women's Health, Planned Parenthood, and several others. They got together, and this was the first lawsuit they put together to challenge the Texas Heartbeat Act. Now, we continued to defend the law, saying that the law is not open for this kind of lawsuit, that the filing that the abortion industry did was actually the kind of invalid. It wasn't the right legal response to this lawsuit. Because what happens in the Texas Heartbeat Act, as I'm sure you've heard many times now, it allows regular citizens like you and me to hold the abortion industry accountable if they break the Texas Heartbeat Act. If they commit an abortion on a child who has a detectable heartbeat, you and I could bring a lawsuit against Whole Women's Health or any other abortion provider, okay? Now, it actually tells the Attorney General, the state agencies, and the district attorneys not to do anything with this law. It's not their responsibility to enforce the Texas Heartbeat Act. So whenever the abortion industry sued those individuals, sued the Attorney General, sued a county judge, a county clerk, and sued the state agencies, we were arguing in court, in our side, the pro-life attorneys were arguing that's not actually the right response. That actually this lawsuit doesn't work because those individuals are not responsible for enforcing the law in the first place. So this is an invalid lawsuit. There's no standing, there's no ground for this type of challenge. And so they can't prove they need a court to get involved to stop this group of defendants from enforcing the law. Because remember, those group of defendants have nothing to do with the Texas Heartbeat Act. Instead, it's every pro-life Texan who would have standing to hold Whole Women's Health and Planned Parenthood and any others that are committing abortions, hold them accountable. And so that had been argued back and forth, finally went to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court said, you're right. The U.S. Supreme Court said, absolutely, that's how the law was written, but we're not sure about state agencies. So what the Supreme Court did is they dismissed all the defendants except for a handful of state agencies that may have some authority to enforce the Texas Heartbeat Act. That question eventually was sent to the Supreme Court of Texas. They answered no, that these state agencies like the Texas Medical Board do not have authority to enforce the law. And now finally that's back to the Fifth Circuit, who is telling the lower court that this is all correct, that this case should be ultimately dismissed, or at least the majority of this case should be dismissed, because those state agencies don't have the authority to enforce it. Only private citizens like you and me have the authority to enforce the Texas Heartbeat Act. And that is what the abortion industry is absolutely terrified about. They do not know how to fight this unique law, and it is saving lives. In the meantime, while they're filing their 22 lawsuits and losing in court almost every day, they don't know what to do. And while they're figuring that out, innocent human lives are being saved here in Texas. Pregnant mothers are being protected from the violence of abortion, and their children are being saved from abortion. This is something we should be celebrating as a pro-life movement. This is something we should be encouraging our friends in other states to emulate. This is really a way forward. This is really good news. And again, this ruling yesterday from the Fifth Circuit is just another development in these long fight for life. That this is a good step in the right direction, where we are headed towards a place where Texas will be abortion-free and we'll be able to build a truly pro-life Texas. I know that you're committed to that and that you're with us on that, but I did want to give you this good news that we have something to celebrate, yet another legal victory for the Texas Heartbeat Act and unborn children and their mothers in Texas. So you can find updates on TexasRightToLife.com. We're on Twitter and Facebook and everywhere you are with breaking pro-life news. You can sign up for our text alerts. That's the most important way to get these breaking news, these news updates in an ongoing story of the Texas Heartbeat Act is continuing to survive in court and continuing to save lives, and that's something worth celebrating. So hope you have a great day, and hope that you join us in standing for life. And until next time, have a great day.